Subscribe to Master J and turn on all notifications, so you won't miss any of his fired NBA videos.
Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Put your eyes, I'll do what I want.
What is up, guys? It is Master J back at it with another video. And yes, I know a few hours ago I just streamed my first ever NBA stream. I will do more of that, so stay tuned for that. I have a busy schedule, so I won't stream every day, obviously. Maybe Warriors game, but not every Warriors game, of course. I don't want to get copyrighted. And no, none of these are fake, just to let you know. Ask all my subscribers. Anyway, thank you all. Keep on with the bangers. But anyway, DeMarcus cousin. Oh, really sad, tragic story. I was hoping, he get signed to another team. And finally, the Milwaukee Bucks. They are struggling. They need that big. They need that tough guy bringing that locker room present. And they signed DeMarcus Cousins. And what is more better to react to this video, because I could break down some stuff, but it just happened, and I'm losing my voice because I was streaming a video, and I can't put up a full video right now, so I'm gonna react to this by the Flight Mike, one of my favorite NBA YouTubers, my favorite AM Hoops. I'm gonna link this video in my channel, the description. But anyway, let's start.
Very interesting day we have today, because I not only am bringing you a DeMarcus Cousins video today, but I'm also hoping to bring you a John Wall video later on today that we've been working on in depth over the past 48 hours. So this is
Wait, chill, a John Wall video? Okay, I guess we'll be looking at both. Maybe they kind of similar. Similar. Yeah, I'm hard time pronouncing. I'm really losing my voice today.
some really good news, man. Before we get to the content, I want to let you guys know that we're doing a huge Black Friday sale on theflightmike.com. All casual merchandise is going to be offered at a huge discount if you guys want to check it out until Cyber Monday's over. We're also giving away $500. All you have to do to enter is subscribe and turn on our notifications within the next week. No, seriously, that's all you have to do, and you've entered for a chance to win $500. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the
intro. Yes. Who who y'all think intro's more lit? His or mine? Okay, that is no competition. Obviously his is more. His is destroys my intro. This is pure editing right here. Guaranteed best intro in YouTube right here for NBA.
Mike check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? This is a player that I'm always going to give you guys updates on. I don't care how washed you think DeMarcus Cousins is, but he is still a player that I will continue to.
I think he still contribute. Just to let you know that he can put you up around 8 points a game, maybe some defense, some hustle, and he'll bring that energy in the locker room. Is it good energy? I mean, it really depends what team he's on.
To root for, because he's had one of the most tragic careers in NBA history. DeMarcus Cousins had a remarkably promising career when he was drafted by the Sacramento Kings in the 2010 NBA draft, and for about the first 6 to 7 seasons of his career, he was an absolute force for the Sacramento Kings. Everything was going fine until in 2007.
Arguably the best center in the league at the time.
The man got traded to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now,
I know, everyone thought, Stephen A. Smith thought, the Kings got fleeced here. I'm yeah, you're giving the best center in the NBA for Tyreke Evans, who looks washed at the time. I mean, he was still washed. I mean, he can still compete though. And then Buddy Hield, he's young and all, but his rookie year looked really, I don't know. And then some bunch of scrubs and some picks that didn't really matter, which kind of did matter. But now looking back, the trade was great because DeMarcus, unfortunately one of the saddest stories in the NBA, while the Kings are able to get a competitor in Buddy Hield, one of the best 3-point shooter, the closest thing to Stephen Curry and Damian Lillard. Well, Damian Lillard's shot is kind of broken right now, but I'm talking about whole careers from then and now. And then you get those picks. I'm not fully sure what did they produce to, but Buddy Hield was like, right now, who is better, Buddy Hield or DeMarcus Cousins? Talk about now, not back then. Now, Buddy Hield.
Now, he would end up tearing his Achilles tendon during the 2017 to 2018 season with the New Orleans Pelicans, and honestly, he's a cautionary tale as a result of it, man. Every single time I see a player that might be a little bit too big or a little bit too out of shape, like I usually mention with Zion Williamson, I emphasize the importance of losing weight. If you're a very...
Yeah, I hope Zion's career do not happen to what DeMarcus Cousins.
Agile big man. And unfortunately for DeMarcus Cousins, that information came a little bit too late because...
Yeah, he did work out, but it was too late because by then he suffered more.
He would tear his Achilles, then he would return and play for the Golden State Warriors.
He had a solid season with us. I mean, like, when I looked at it, I was like, damn, we have DeMarcus Cousins. We're going to win more championships, 2 or 3. And then I'm like, oh, come on. DeMarcus Cousins not injured. Then I'm like, I look at him, the finals. I'm like, get DeMarcus out of the court. Get him to the bench. We don't need him. And I know it's been really sad. I mean, like, I was so frustrated when I saw DeMarcus on the court. I'm like, who are you? Are you DeMarcus Cousins or are you someone impersonating him? I feel really bad for him.
Years for a period of time where he didn't look like himself again, man. He would have...
But 18 points a game is pretty solid in a regular season.
Which about 16 points per game.
Oh, 16, my bad.
With a 48% field goal percentage.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's like Miles Turner's number. Just his 3-point shoots a bit down. Yeah.
28% from 3. He was seen as a pretty solid defensive player during that time, but...
No, actually, that's kind of Rashawn Holmes numbered, actually. He was kind of like a Rashawn Holmes type of player, actually.
Offensively, he was a little bit more of a liability with the Golden State Warriors. Eventually, he would sign with the Los Angeles...
Never played there.
Lakers for the 2019 to 2020 season.
So he did get a ring there, but I guess it didn't really satisfy him because he didn't actually earn that championship himself.
But before he would even get an opportunity to play with the Los Angeles Lakers, the man would tear his ACL. Now, the Achilles and the ACL are probably the 2 biggest and most important ligaments/tendons in your body if you want to be a professional athlete. And if you tear your Achilles tendon and your ACL, pretty much you've been drained of all of your athleticism at that point. Well, luckily for DeMarcus Cousins, he was able to get by on his name alone, and he would sign with the Houston Rockets during the 2020...
Wait, what did you say?
By on his name alone, and he would sign... Well, luckily for DeMarcus Cousins, he was able to get by on his name alone, and he would sign with the Houston Rockets during the 2020 to...
He was actually good for the locker room. He stuck up with the James Harden thing, defending the team, saying that we don't need this James Harden crap. Just get out of here. He handled that really well, and the Rockets really appreciated for what he brings on the court. He was decent, and out of the court, he was a great locker room guy, leadership. So they decided to reward him a guaranteed contract and waive him because they didn't have any plans with him. And DeMarcus wanted to contend, so they rewarded him with that money, obviously. That's why, if you're all wondering why they guaranteed and waived him, they just wanted to reward him. Because they obviously don't need him. I mean, if they were contending, they wouldn't waive him. But, they have a young team. They don't need him.
2021 season and reunite with his college buddy John Wall, but unfortunately, he did not look good at all.
Oh, that's what they meant, the John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins thing. Now, their cases are kind of similar. They both suffered injuries, and John Wall, similar to Klay Thompson, had to play for 2 years, but Klay, I think he'll at least be 75% of himself. Same for John Wall. He's like 70% of himself right now. 20 points a game. I mean, efficiency not too great, and he's kind of liability at both ends. He's like a decent on defense and offense, but he can still contend. Yeah, he's like someone, I have him as my 6th man right now, like Dennis Schroeder's or Montrezl Harrell type of 6th man.
when he was with the Houston Rockets. Granted, the Houston Rockets did have Christian Wood and they wanted to see what they had in him, which turned out they had a really solid player on their hands, by the way. But in addition to that, DeMarcus Cousins shot 38% from the field after playing 20 minutes.
Hey, that's still decent. That's still decent. Okay. I mean, like, what are you expecting from DeMarcus Cousins when he was coming to Houston? What do you expect him to be? Back then, DeMarcus Cousins, come on.
Minutes per game. He just looked absolutely washed at this point. He shot 34% from three, but he averaged 9.6 points per game, had 7.6 rebounds per game, but was an absolute shell of his former self. I mean, he was a gigantic offensive liability. He was still a solid defender, but for the most part, he wasn't the player that he once was. But luckily for him, he would get released, then he would sign with the Los Angeles Clippers, and he did show some more promise during his time with the Los Angeles Clippers. The man only would play about 12.9 minutes per game.
But he played like Dwight Howard. I mean, his defense was, it was all right. I mean, like, not the defensive version of Dwight Howard. Like, the Dwight Howard productivity in his minutes.
But he would convert 54% of his field goals for 8 points per game. But at this point, he kind of came in during garbage time. But he had
Dwight Howard, Zaza Pachulia minutes
where he would turn the clock back during the Los Angeles Clippers playoff run. Well, we just got some breaking news, and it's actually a really nice update, man. This puts a huge smile on my face.
The Bucks needs him. He will help the Bucks, because especially the reason they're doing so bad right now because injuries. I mean, he can start. I mean, like, other than Bobby Portis playing at center, I can see DeMarcus Cousins starting at center for the Bucks, but I don't think that'll last long.
From my man Adrian Wojnarowski, and this is what it is.
The GOAT. Woj bomb. That's a Woj bomb right there, okay? Okay, I don't care what y'all think. That's a Woj bomb right there.
Is, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, free agent center DeMarcus Cousins plans to sign a one-year deal with the Milwaukee Bucks, sources tell ESPN. The Bucks kept an open roster spot, needed size, and will bring DeMarcus Cousins into a strong culture on a non-guaranteed deal. Cousins played well for the Clippers in significant stretches a season ago and stayed in shape, awaiting an opportunity. Now DeMarcus Cousins gets a deal on the defending champ. So at this point, I'm sure DeMarcus Cousins kind of understands that in order for him to contribute to a team, he needs to be a floor-spacing big man. And I think he's starting to understand that. His shooting did improve with the Los Angeles Clippers when he came back. Maybe he just needed to knock some of the rust off. He's no longer that dominant player that he once was, but we're talking about a end-of-the-bench type of player, and that's DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, I think it's
he could start.
Remarkable addition to a team that already has Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez.
They're all injured, except for Giannis. He's literally carrying this team. I mean, shout out to Grayson Allen. He's actually been pretty good for them.
In a very strong culture, who's a very underrated defender as well. His defense didn't go anywhere. Luckily for him, he's always been a really good defender. He's as good of a defender now as he's always been during his prime. At least that's what his defensive box plus minus is indicating to me. So regardless, you're still getting a great player and a great addition to the locker room, and just a guy that everyone in the NBA is rooting for. So this is a huge W if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan, and it's a huge W if you're a DeMarcus Cousins fan. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, and make sure you subscribe and turn on our notifications to enter for a chance to win $500.
Yeah, subscribe to Flight Mike, subscribe to me, and thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe, turn on notifications. What else there is? Smash the like button, and I'll see you next time. I'll be streaming soon. Peace.
Every brother is caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.